They're not. They're
Hey
not.
there.
They feel room temperature. They don't really feel hot to me.
Very hot. I guess we're live here. You don't want me to grab it? Just put my mouth on it or
Paul's
what?
head is like.
Oh, yeah. Please stop touching the mic.
All right, we got it.
So we are live and
Perfect.
we are at 0 hour, the official Bitcoin Day pre-game live stream from sunny Naples, Florida. But I think Dr. Sean Baker brought some of that cold with him from Seattle. This cold front is no joke.
We got a packed house here today. Yeah, we ran some good sprints.
That's right. Yeah.
It was a
Out there in the
good morning
sunshine.
workout.
Nice.
It was awesome. Why doesn't everybody introduce themselves? Sean, why don't you kick us off here?
Sure. My name is Sean Baker. I am a big carnivore proponent. I'm also a big Bitcoin proponent. I've been in Bitcoin. Well, I've known about it since Seyfedin Amos introduced it to me back in 2018, and I've been actively participating since 2020. So I wish I'd have listened to Safe earlier, but that's the way it goes, like everybody says. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here. This is a great event, great people, and hopefully if you guys haven't made your way down here, come check it out. We got a big carnivore feed tonight, so we're going to be crushing some good food, I think, and have some good times.
Yeah, speaking of that, Paul, why don't you put the link in the comments for the carnivore dinner tonight for anybody in Naples? So we're Bitcoin Day is hosting a private event tonight where you get to go have dinner with the man himself. We got, I think, half of a cow and a bunch of other stuff. So there's going to be a lot of carnivore there at the dinner, and it should be a fun time. So looking forward to that. Coin Dad, what's up, my man?
Hey, man. Just finished my 900-mile drive down here and happy to be here with all you guys. And I appreciate y'all having me down. My name's Tobias Barbier. I'm the founder of the Bitcoin Mining Museum, which just converted over this week to the Bitcoin Discovery Center out of Dallas, Texas, 30,000 square foot place. And hopefully the new home, or actually will be the new home, I'm going to speak it into existence for education for Bitcoin and preserving the history of it. Because if somebody doesn't preserve the history, how can we educate future generations about Bitcoin?
Love it. I heard Lil Wayne and Bubba Sparks told me too that you're
Oh
you're
my goodness,
you're
what
a
is
su-
snitching on me
you're a
right now,
superstar, man. All right, why don't we pass that mic to Natalie over there, Miss Brunel? Welcome to sunny Naples.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is a nice change because I came from a lot of snow. I host a show called the Coin Stories Podcast. The goal is to educate people about Bitcoin and spread financial literacy. And I just came out with my first book, Bitcoin is for Everyone, a simple introduction to what is wrong with our financial system and why Bitcoin is the solution.
I'm going to give her book a little plug. If you are new to Bitcoin, if you are curious about why Bitcoin matters, why Bitcoin's important, or you just want to read a book that will just talk to you and teach you and meet you where you're at, Bitcoin is for Everyone is a fantastic introductory book to Bitcoin.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Madison Hansen, aka Hansen Hash, and I am a senior at FGCU studying finance and economics. I got into Bitcoin in 2016 when I was just 12 years old, and now, my mission is to teach Gen Z about Bitcoin and how to take control of their life in order to build wealth for their family and their future generations.
I am Matty Ice. I'm the host of the Cypherpunk'd podcast and also the CEO of a compute company called Consensus Protocol, where we do a lot of different data center deployments, whether it's Bitcoin mining or other forms of compute infrastructure. And we found this guy over here. He was kind of walking around. He says he works on some project called Bitcoin or something. He's some kind of developer. We decided to let him up.
Luke Dasher, Bitcoin developer for 15 years now. 15 years. Started ocean mining a couple of years ago, which was really a relaunch of the Ligius mining pool. Started back in 2011. Lead maintainer of Bitcoin Knots. Probably a bunch of other stuff that you could get into or not.
Coin Dad, why don't you tell us about this device we have here right now that we have on display? What is this thing?
That is the world's first dedicated Bitcoin miner that's in my museum. It's actually, as far as I know right now, there's only 5 in the world that I know of personally. I got 2, the silver and the black. And then there's one at the world's biggest computer museum in California. And then a couple of old OGs from back in the day have a few of them. Then they don't want to let go of them. But this miner made like 20 Bitcoin a day when it first came out. This is January 2013. From the month that it was released, they only made 300 of them. And that's the beginning of the ASIC era where we still are in today with the S21s and all that stuff.
So this is essentially one of the very first ASICs that ever existed.
What I like to compare it to is like when Steve Jobs made Apple PCs out of his garage in 1976, or roughly around that year. He made about 200 of them. This is basically the same thing, equivalent of the Bitcoin side. It's a historic piece.
Wow. Are you going to display this at Bitcoin Day tomorrow at the Four Seasons?
I will, yes.
Oh, nice.
I have a little mini museum that I brought with me with quite a few other gems that are in the truck right now.
So what's going on with the Bitcoin Discovery Center? Can you tell us about that?
So for the last 4.5 years, we've been Bitcoin Mining Museum. I've been wanting to find a stationary place because every time I go to a conference with my museum pieces, there's an OG that'll show up and be like, hey, I get this in my shed you can have, or I see you don't have this and I have it in my attic. So I just started stacking on more and more Bitcoin mining machines from the old era. And it got to the point where I had to buy a trailer. So I got a 17-foot trailer that's got custom foaming in there and stuff to protect all these pieces. But there was a moment where I drove to a conference for 2,000 miles and I hit a big pothole on the highway on I-95, and some of them fell off and hit the ground and almost broke. One of them did break. Luckily, it was one I could replace. But I'm thinking to myself, what if I get T-boned somewhere at an intersection with this trailer and all my 6 years of work is gone? And what I've built over the last 6 years is irreplaceable, because some of them, I have one-for-ones. I have the original prototypes. You cannot replace prototypes. So it's time for a home. And there's James from ACS in Dallas. He's actually one of the largest repair facilities in America. He has an extra 30,000 square feet connected to his center, where he offered it up and said, hey, we would love to have you here. Let's get together and do something. And then the team from the Texas Blockchain Council over there with Lee Bratcher and Steve Kennard, we spoke to them the very next day, showed them what we got going on, and coming to find out they have a nonprofit that was just lingering. So they offered it up to me. And as of this morning, I got the email from the bank that I'm on the account. As of last week, I got the Secretary of Texas document that we're officially Bitcoin Discovery Center is officially a nonprofit. So we now, I did all the legwork basically to get to this point for 6 years. I'm now asking the community's help to help build this place out now that we're a nonprofit and have tax exempt status. So hopefully by summer of this year, we can have a orange ribbon cutting ceremony with.
Is there a way for people to donate right now? Paul, can you add a link to the Bitcoin Discovery Center? I know you made a new website, right, Tobias? I thought it was pretty cool. Have you still been working on that?
It's ready.
Okay, cool.
It's all ready to go. BitcoinDiscoveryCenter.com.
Okay, cool.
Just click the donate button. We accept Bitcoin and US dollars.
Awesome. Yeah, let's add that to the stream link so people can donate if they want. And do you have a strategy right now to maybe monetize the museum so it can pay for itself with people coming to buy guest passes to visit, or?
We want to keep it. If we're hoping that maybe the Jack Dorseys of the world or CZ or one of them, that it's a piece of cake for them. We're kind of looking for getting to 2 million by the end of the year. It's going to take maybe 750,000 to build it out to get the grand opening. As the first day, 2 days ago, I got 25 grand from an OG, and then on Monday I'm getting another 75, so we'll have 100,000. So shout out to Bryce, who's a 2010 OG, and he's one of our advisors.
I love Bryce, good guy.
Bryce is a great guy, yeah. So he loves what we're building, and he's basically giving back to the community to help us do this.
Awesome.
So that money right away, as soon as I'm done with this tour or this podcast, I'm going to go to Dallas and get on a ladder and start painting and start prepping them with some of that money and start working on it with a GC that I got set up. So I want to show proof of work right away with that money.
I know you wanted to ask Natalie some questions. What did you want to talk to her about?
Do you know Bryce? He told me a backstory about you. He said that y'all were at dinner together in D.C. for a BPI summit, and the fire alarm went off, and you had him carry your high heels or something like that. And
I don't remember this.
He said if I mentioned the high heels and go in the fire alarm that you would remember that.
I must have a bad memory because I do not remember. But hi, Bryce. Thank you so much. If you help me out, I mean, when was this?
I think the second summit, like 2 years ago or something. I don't know.
Wow, a fire alarm?
Some fire alarm went off and everybody had to leave, but you had heels on, so you couldn't run as fast as everybody else. So
Well,
I don't know if you
that
gave it to
sounds-
him or.
it sounds plausible. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's the
Well,
transfer
that's
over
very.
to you.
That's great. That's great for him to donate, and congratulations on what you're
Yes.
doing.
Thank
I'm
you.
really
I
happy for you.
appreciate that. And thank you for your support too.
Really exciting.
Have any of you guys spoken at Bitcoin Day before?
No.
No.
I have in Denver.
Oh, you have in Denver. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool to see it grow.
What do you like about Bitcoin Day?
One feature is that it's just one day. No, just kidding. Well, it's just the conferences, like the panels, right? You kind of, we've all been at so many of
I
them.
know.
So even though all the panels are great, if you're a part of Bitcoin conferences as often as we are, it's fun to do the networking part. So it's nice if it's all in one day. Like Cheat Code is like that in Bedford in the UK too. So you do all the panels in one day, and then you just get to spend time networking and community building and really like growing as a community and learning about each other. So that's what I like.
I think it's one of the best conferences if you want to like hang out and talk to all the speakers. And also if you don't want to miss all the things that are happening. So many conferences, like there's a panel here, there's another panel here, and it's like they're at the same time, and it's, oh wow, I got Luke talking over here, and then I've got Coin Dad over here, and I've got now, and I can't,
Overwhelming.
yeah, it's like I'm gonna miss this one if I go here, and I kind of like like I love the Bitcoin conference in Vegas. It's amazing, but like there's no way to watch all the panels and with everything going on, it's out on all the stuff you want to see. It's awesome, but it's a lot, right? So
Yeah.
what's up, Gen Z?
I mean, my last Bitcoin Day experience, which was my first one, was over the summer, I think, in Tampa. And it was very last minute. My friend Nick was like, "You should go to this." And I was like, "Really?" And I went, and that was actually where I met Neil Jacobs from FROMO21. Just by meeting him at like that day, he gave me an internship for his company. So I did that, marketing internship with him. That was a big part of my life. Would have never happened if I didn't go to Bitcoin Day. But also I met Gen Z for BTC. And now we're going to be on a panel together tomorrow. And we just met over the summer. So kind of like you said, like the community building is the best part. And just from going to a one-day event, I met so many people, got an internship, got to hear so much from the panels, and I'm really excited for tomorrow.
Well, that's why I think it's fun for people to go to these because, again, today you can watch a panel online, right?
Yeah.
But it's really meeting people and the in-between conversations and the dinners that you have and bumping into each other, at the hotel. And it fosters things that you might not ever expect. So,
Absolutely.
What about you, Luke? What do you think? With all of when you meet people that are obviously most people are much less technical at these conferences.
Yeah, speaking to the mic.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. What do you think when you go to these conferences and you're obviously a lot of times you talk about very technical topics? Do you struggle to relate to a lot of the normies that come, or do you think it's still very important to push a lot of these technical ideas at these conferences? How do you approach all that?
Usually when I'm at conferences, I usually I speak or I have on a panel, but besides that, I usually am just talking to people. If I watch anything, it'll be the recording later.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to approach most of the conferences. I mean, Bitcoin Day is unique in the sense that not all of the conferences are happening at the same time. It's usually like a big room, and you're having lunch, or there's a lot of time set aside between panels to kind of socialize and talk and network, and it's a very nice pacing, I think, which is not the case for many other conferences that are also very good and have their own unique advantages. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a fantastic weekend. I think this is the nicest venue that I've ever spoken at for Bitcoin Day. Usually it's smaller venues, but I think this is a brand new hotel on the beach, so food's going to be top notch. The guests are going to be top notch. The speakers are top notch. So pretty excited about tomorrow. It should be a great day. What do you guys think about the state of Bitcoin for 2026? What are you guys most excited about for this upcoming year? Why don't you kick us off, Gen Z?
Funny you say Gen Z, because I think honestly, just, with starting the crypto club at FGCU and bringing Bitcoin to the university standpoint and graduating this year, kind of leaving that behind, leaving that legacy. I truly think it's a legacy club. And then getting to go out. I want to move to Thailand, get my master's, and I want to bring Bitcoin over there to Thailand. I've never heard of a Thailand Bitcoin conference, and they have these communities that are forming in Bangkok because of their zero capital gains tax that they just released. And I think just going over there, being in a new place and bringing what I've learned over here, that's what I'm most excited about. I love meeting people and bringing the idea of Bitcoin to them, shocking them, changing their life. And I think people over in Thailand could really benefit from that. So that's what I'm excited about.
What about you?
Well, coming into 2026, Bitcoin's in a very vulnerable state, so hopefully we'll get that resolved this year, and I think it'll breathe some new life back into Bitcoin that we've lost over the last few years.
Can you unpack that a little bit? Are you talking about encouraging more people to run nodes, encouraging more people to use? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. My bad. I'm fired. You can revoke my pay if you want. Are you talking about finding ways to encourage more people to run nodes, to participate actually in the network consensus? Is that kind of what you're thinking about, or?
No, but for the vulnerable part, it's really the spam getting so bad that Core 30 has made it a standard now and opened the door to much worse things.
So educating people on the importance of the type of node you're running, I guess, is what you're getting at.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin needs to, at this point, kind of fight back against that trend, and I think we're going to get through it just like we did in 2017.
How's the progress looking on that front?
Pretty good. The reduced data soft fork has a RC release candidate now, so it's still in testing, but it's getting code review. Everything seems fine on it, that front. Probably just a few more weeks until there's some kind of final release that people can run without necessarily being a tester.
Okay, interesting. Dr. Sean, what do you think, my man? I know you're kind of outside of the Bitcoin industry at large, but you obviously when people are doing things that involve self-improvement or, taking control of your own life, whether it be diet, whether it be exercise, whether it be self-sovereignty with money, there's a lot of parallels and partnerships, right, that come into play there. And I think that the Bitcoin community has largely embraced you because of many of those things, of bucking the status quo of whatever government propaganda we are told, right? I think now they finally, did you see the food pyramid thing? Where I was like, this is the food pyramid, and they're just like, nope, it's this now. They just inverted it. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean that was deliberate. It was intentional that they flipped that upside down. It was kind of like a South Park episode.
It really was,
I
man.
I think they very intentionally did that, and I think in part it represents a a signal that they're listening to what people are saying, which is kind of a lot of us feel like what we're saying is not going through. And you guys, I'm sure folks have been in Bitcoin for years and years and years and have been kind of just brushed aside as this sort of kind of quirky thing, are now seeing, not universal adoption, but, significant mainstreaming. And I think with nutrition and, as a physician, I of course, I'm interested in people's health. And I think we've gotten it so wrong for so long. And there's, the analogies between fiat money and fiat medicine and fiat food, we can all see those, and they're real. And I think, again, I think Bitcoin's future is in the people that participate in it. As long as they sort of remain committed and strong. I mean, it's, that's the proof of work you have there. You have adoption of millions and millions of people, and hopefully tens and hundreds and eventually billions of people. And so same thing with health. And so I think there's some parallels. I think the momentum is going in the right direction. The awareness is improving. Now, again, it's still upon you and I and all of us to make it happen. We can't rely on some government action. If we're waiting on a strategic Bitcoin reserve or whatever, that's not going to save us. I mean, we're going to be saved by when we save ourselves. So I think that's, and we get successful by ourselves as well.
Self-accountability. What about you, Coin Dad? What do you see? What are you excited about for 2026?
Well, off of what he just said, I started the carnivore diet because of something that he told me at the last conference, and I had a problem with my leg just 2 weeks ago, where I'm not even supposed to be here right now because my leg was that messed up. But the carnivore diet took the inflammation away, and I'm down 15 pounds right now in just 2 weeks. But the whole idea, like, I'm a Bitcoiner and I'm hodling and I do dollar cost averaging. But what good is all that if you don't have your health? So the health and the Bitcoin, they go side by side. I think that's a great marriage there.
A big part of Bitcoin is delayed gratification, this idea of time preference,
Yeah.
of having, low time preference or high time preference, where, you think on a longer scale than just what do I need right now? I think there's a lot of commonality there when it comes to, mastering and utilizing a diet that takes, is maybe not so easy, right? You have to delay gratification. You can't have that cup of, or that you can't have that piece of cake. You can't have that, delicious sandwich with a fried whatever on it. You know what I mean? You've got to kind of delay that gratification. Being a Bitcoiner with sound money is very similar, right? Like you're saving for the long, you're thinking, multi-year, you're not thinking this week or next week. You're thinking 5 years, 10 years from now, my children, that is the viewpoint. And it's very much the same when you take your health into account. So I think there's a lot of synergy there.
Yeah. But the original question,
What are you most excited about for 2026? We
So,
just kicked off the year here.
the Bitcoin Discovery Center is what I'm
Yeah.
excited about
Mhm.
because when I go to conferences, the people that come through and see 16, 17 years of history in front of their face, Bitcoin is not something you can touch or see. So that's where we really have a problem with trying to
Mhm.
educate the public because it's hard to teach them something that they can't touch or see. But if you have 16 years in front of your face in chronological order, I have so many people that were on the fence on Bitcoin that see the museum and they
Mhm.
walk off saying, okay, this is real, it's legit. So I could see, I'm looking forward to educating politicians, for example, that are still
Mhm.
in outer space about Bitcoin. But we want to work with the public school system in Texas and have school buses rolling through where we have
Yeah.
high school students come off.
That'd be
and
awesome.
I have on my team 5 guys. There are 2 of them called Hashstorians instead of historians. Gave them a whole new name. But to have like
As long as they're not hash holes, they're good.
but to have the schools go through and then first get educated about money in the museum and how screwed up it is, and then go through the whole chronological order, the history of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. Like mining is basically the heartbeat of Bitcoin. If it wasn't for these miners in my museum, none of us at this table would have a job today in the Bitcoin world. To go through that process, I want to do what I call orange pill crash courses, where we spend maybe 2 hours with them to go through all that. And I have Dr. Kelly from New York, who's the first professor in the U.S. to do a 2-year Bitcoin blockchain course, who's going to be leaving there and joining us as the director of education. And we're building a classroom in the back of this place for him. And they get educated in there, and then they leave with a certificate in hand of what I call an orange pill certificate. So they learn something about it. Then next door, we have the repair center with all the technicians and stuff, and give them that tour to maybe motivate some of them to actually become technicians in the Bitcoin space. So it's a lot of things going to be going on in the center. And then on the way out is when we have the Bitcoin storefront, where we're going to be selling her book and nodes and bit axes and Bitcoin trading cards. Shout out to Aladdin. I love your cards. She just signed hers yesterday, and him today. I got his too. Yeah, a lot of like the FOMO 21. Spoke to the CEO Nick, and he's down to support us too. Solo Satoshi with the bit axes. Like there's a lot of support already from everybody wanting to get in, helping with the storefront side as well. So on the way out, people can buy things, and then a percentage goes back to the nonprofit from the sales.
I actually just got back from a Bitcoin repair center that, I walked through this place, and they were brokering a deal for a multi-million-dollar deal we were doing to deploy some miners. But when we went into the facility, there was like 100, 200 people working in that facility. Like, we're talking about Rust Belt towns, cities that, like, you've got 100 new jobs being created, right? Like, I see, moms with a microscope, like working on a hash board, and like, machines applying paste, and people are running the machines to apply paste, and then people are cleaning and putting ASICs through a $1 to $2 million cleaning unit that just is like a car wash for ASICs.
Yeah.
So you take this ASIC and you plug it into the car wash, and it runs through this thing, and it's incredible what I witnessed. But the reindustrialization of some of these areas, the job opportunities, the creation, and it all ties back into producing a proof of work, a physical money that nobody can just press a button and make. Now you've created all this stuff around that, which I think is fascinating. Are you guys going to be trying to certify people to repair there through the facility as well? With
in the conversation too.
Okay.
I mean, it all depends on how much help we get from the community to build this thing. But the education director, Professor Kelly, and the other James, who's the owner of ACS for the repair side, they're having discussions about, like, when you become a mechanic nowadays, a mechanic shop, you have to go through ASE certification course. So we don't have nothing like that in America. So we're thinking about doing something like that where we have a technician training course for maybe 3 months.
I got 5 or 10
4
guys
months.
I can send you tomorrow if you open that up.
And then they would have like an internship at the repair center with him that's already there to learn, since it's right on the other side of the wall from my museum.
What about like a conference center space? Instead of you going to the conferences, what if the conferences come to you guys?
So that's actually where some of the bread, the heart of the money is going to come from. Hopefully, once we open, it's $25,000 a month just for renting the place.
Oh wow!
So it's
a lot of overhead.
Right, there's a lot of overhead, but we're going to do an event center out of it. So I'm setting it up in such a way that the Bitcoin mining display cases have wheels. So if like you had your beautiful wedding, I've seen that online. Like imagine somebody renting the space out because they met at a Bitcoin conference and 2 people fell in love, and they can book our place out on a Saturday and have a Bitcoin themed wedding because we're going to have a little stage in the center of it. Michael Saylor can book it out and have his quarterly C-suite meetings over there on a private level. Like Mining Disrupt or the North American conference that's over there with Lee Bratcher. Like they can do side events for whale cocktail parties or whatever. Like we can, like Coinbase is having a headquarters in Dallas. They can have their Christmas party there.
Yeah, no,
There's a lot of different things.
Yeah. I know the Mining Disrupt that you and I were at this year was in Texas. So how far away is your Bitcoin Discovery Center from where Mining Disrupt was?
15 minutes.
There you go.
It's
Beautiful.
from the main airport. It's 20 minutes.
Is it large enough to accommodate like the whole event?
Until we build it out, I don't know the exact number from whatever the fire marshal will tell me. But I've done some numbers with AI, and it spit back anywhere from 350 to 400 people could fit in there.
Okay, cool.
For an event.
All right.
So the women of
We've only got-
they mentioned
Sorry.
doing an annual conference there.
I'm going to pass the mic to
I'm not-
Natalie now so she
Yeah.
can answer.
Yeah, I was just going to say she
this
has to run in like 5 minutes. So
Well,
we'd love to hear from you.
I'm actually glad you brought up the repair center aspect because I recently did a mini documentary about Bitcoin mining, and I interviewed someone in Norway who he was in a terrible car accident when he was young, and he became paralyzed, and it's like the job that gave him a sense of purpose again because you
sitting
can
with the soldering.
it's one of the only jobs he can do, and it also does pay well, and so it like
It's a hard job.
it
I mean,
reinvigorated him because
Yeah.
a lot of people today. I was talking about this with Dr. Baker on a podcast that we did. People have lost purpose. And so many people today, I mean, there's like the deflationary pressure of AI, right? That could really impact the labor market. And Bitcoin's creating jobs that people find a lot of meaning in and purpose in. So, and it's just cool to see because like we've become this little ant farm within our ecosystem, right? We've got the podcasters, the educators, we've got the developers, we've got the builders, we've got Gen Z students, we've got all of it. And it's just so exciting to see. And I wanted to ask you, is there going to be any Hal Finney memorabilia in the museum?
So hopefully I can talk to his wife about that. But on the left side of the facility are 25-foot walls, and I'm calling it the Pioneer Wall. So I'm putting a bunch of large 100-inch TV screens where in rotation you will see Hal Finney and Adam Back, and it's like paying homage to the OGs with their bio and what they've contributed, including the gentleman right there in the corner.
I love that. And you guys, if you want to get walking and active or running, join the Running Bitcoin Challenge for ALS. That's running right now. Fran always promotes that in January, coincides with the Running Bitcoin tweet. And so I hope everyone does that. You can join my team if you want to, but just give back because they're looking for a cure for ALS. And I know Hal would be really happy to see us getting involved in that. So
For sure. Yeah, that's Paul. Post a link to that in the chat if you can. What's the website?
You can Google the Hal Finney Running Bitcoin Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to join a team, mine is called Bitcoin is for Everyone.
Okay, all right. I might have to get on the carnivore diet so I can
There
run
you
in the
go.
challenge.
Yeah, that's the ALS network. Let's find a cure.
Sprinter is the extent of what I can run right now. But I'm gonna have to get in shape here. Running Bitcoin, yep.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I've
famous
been doing
post.
it 3 years running now. And Fran Finney's amazing. Highly recommend you check out some interviews with her.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Let's
just
post.
pulled his card from the trading cards, and it's 10,000 card.
Wow.
It's one of the high ones up there.
So 0.1 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's how much it.
Right, yeah.
Natalie, I think you hit the nail on the head with what you brought up, this idea of sense of purpose.
Mhm.
I think we can talk about it. Like, I've heard about it for a long time. Like, I know intuitively, right? Because I'm a miner and I've deployed sites and I can see, all of the indirect people that benefit from it, right? The contractors, the electricians, all the people that they hire, the workers, all of the different equipment makers, the electrical companies, the supply shops. I mean, there are so many participants that indirectly benefit from our industry. Obviously, the electrical usage, the power companies are benefiting because they have a guaranteed customer. They now have flexible, grid demand that they can, curtail and, have a customer that can actually do that curtailment, right? Before they didn't have that, right? Because most people will not shut down. If you have a factory that has 50 people there at work, are you going to shut down your factory when they give you a fraction of a discount? No. The only industry that's going to do that is Bitcoin miners. So, I hate to tell people, even with AI and all these other things, like, you're not going to have that curtailment response that you get with Bitcoin. But my point was really to say that until you go to one of those facilities, the repair facility, and you actually walk through it and you see this giant facility, and you see 100 people like working and doing these jobs, like that to me was like, oh my God, this is like, this, it really hit me like, wow, what an impact this is having. Like, look at all of these 100 people I just saw, like they now have a full-time job that pays their bills, that can support their family. And the guy I spoke to was like, yeah, he's like, my payroll is like $500,000 every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow, that's pretty significant. So a lot of repair work is being done, a lot of miners being fixed and sent out and, brokered and all the stuff that's happening. So thought that was really interesting. I know you got to run, so I was going to close out with that. Do you have any closing thoughts for all of us here?
I'm just really excited for Bitcoin Day. Thanks for having me. I'm just excited for this year. I know that some people think that we didn't perform as well as maybe they expected, but I do think that we need to remind ourselves that we just recently hit an all-time high in Q4 of last year. We really did. I mean, we're not that far down. We haven't seen a 70% drawdown. We might have some choppiness and some things can temporarily outperform, but I think that we're in it for something much, much bigger than the short-term price action. And the reason I wrote my book is because I'm just trying to reach really the average like working class person, the ordinary people that have been so left out of the financial system and wealth creation for too long. And they need a seat at the table and they need a sense of purpose and hope for the future, and especially for young people, because we've put a massive tab on younger generations, and Bitcoin offers that hope. And I think that everyone can learn it and it's not too late. And hey, we have it on sale right now. So that's my thought.
Well, thank you for writing your book.
Thank you
All
for
right.
being here.
Yeah. We'll let you sneak out of here. We will see you in
See you
what
for the
time is
steak.
what time is our dinner tonight?
6 to
Carnivore dinner.
7:30 is the meet and greet showing up.
6 to 7:30. Is that what time it is? Well, I think we're all gonna have to close out here because it's 5:30 actually, and if it's
I
6
still
to
got to change clothes.
if 6 to 6 if 6 is the meet and greet, we better get rolling here. So if you are on this stream right now, and you are in the Naples or Southwest Florida area and you want to come hang out with Dr. Sean Baker at the carnivore dinner, follow the link that we're going to put here in the show notes, and you can use my name, Matty Ice, as a 21% discount code. Bitcoin Day gave me that. I always ask for that 21% discount code for whatever conference I'm speaking at, and they gave me that. So feel free to use that code for a ticket, but also to attend this carnivore dinner tonight and come hang out with me and Coin Dad and Natalie and Dr. Sean and Luke and Madison.
But you said
And
it's-
Madison.
That time is for the meet and greet, not for the dinner itself.
No, I think John was telling me they're going to start like food somewhere earlier, and then there's like an 8 o'clock this
Okay.
Q&A period. So I think the food is actually going to be probably 7-ish or something.
Okay. All right. Well, we better get rolling here.
Where you can go and just grab what you want when you want.
All right. Well, does anybody have any closing thoughts here they want to share with our audience, or anywhere they can keep up with you or follow you or check you out? Madison, why don't you go?
You can follow me on X at Hanson Hash, and also I'm starting my podcast pretty soon, and you can find me on all platforms at the Hanson Hash Podcast.
Excited about that.
I'm also on Twitter, Luke DASHJR. That's my handle.
Never heard of you.
X for me, S Baker MD. Check out Rivero.com if you are suffering from chronic disease and you'd like someone that was willing to work with you about getting you off your medication rather than prescribing more pills, because we do that on a daily basis. We get people off meds and get them healthy. So anyway, hope to see some of you guys at Bitcoin Day or the dinner tonight.
Remember, guys, he is the #1 misinfluencer, and they've taken away his license 100 times.
Well, I'm the Coin Dad on X, and BTC Mining Museum is the handle for our Discovery Center for right now. Hopefully I can get that changed soon. But BitcoinDiscoveryCenter.com for any donations. Again, Bitcoin or US dollar. And I don't care if it's a Chick-fil-A meal, $20. Anything will help, and I would greatly appreciate it, and the rest of the team would too. Thank you.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope to see you at Bitcoin Day tomorrow in Naples, Florida. Thanks for listening.